Gorgeous mountains of central Pennsylvania and a perfect night for week number 4 of high school football here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. We're in Bellwood tonight where the Blue Devils are at home at 1-2 on the year, taking on the Central Dragons, also 1-2 in a matchup here in the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference. What a night for high school football and two great communities who love their high school football. Brian Tripp, Rick Call will be joined by the third member of our team, Jeff Page, in just a little bit. Okay, Rick, let's get right to it. Both teams without their starting quarterback tonight, so injuries certainly going to play a factor in tonight's game.
Both teams are banged up, and as you said, both teams 1-2. Both teams really need a win tonight. This could be a test of wills between these clubs.
It's a young Central team this year, a Dragons team that is accustomed to winning, and as we take a look at tonight's players to watch, it's a young team that's going into a very difficult part of the schedule, but Samaj Musay is having a terrific junior season. When he's doing well, it opens everything else up. In their one win against Greater Johnstown, that evident 149 yards on the ground in week number 2. Meanwhile, for Bellwood-Antis, they have a standout offensively and defensively. It's that guy, running back Alex McCartney, 303 games of 100 or more yards already this season, and 4 tackles for loss last week for Bellwood-Antis and the Blue Devils. Now time to take a look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Priority First Federal Credit Union.
Yeah, balanced attack, key number 1 for Central. They can hand the ball to Musay, but they need to open up lanes for him, and they can balance that off by throwing the football. Key number 2, continue to grow. They're such a young football team. Bellwood-Antis, key number 1, finish drives. They've been great between the 20s. They need to finish those drives. Key number 2, focus on themselves. They feel like they've made too many mistakes. They need to clean that up.
Bellwood-Antis head coach Nick Loveridge said he felt like his team could be 3-0 at this juncture, just not there right now. Two teams that are poised for a second half run, and that all starts here tonight. The Blue Devils ready, so are we. Coming up, we'll have kickoff as the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture is back right after this.
The Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture.
Our matchup tonight, Central and Bellwood-Antis. Bellwood-Antis won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so we'll see the Central offense on the field first here tonight. Temperature 76 degrees, unseasonably warm here for kickoff in week number 4. Brian Tripp, Rick Call, and our outstanding Friday Night Rivals crew. There is Jerry Albright, the second-year head coach of Central. It is a young group. They have talked about how good they can be. He and his staff and the players are tired of talking about how good they can be. He wants it, Rick, right now.
Yeah, he said the future's bright, but we want success in the moment. And like you said, they're so young. They're still developing, and we'll see if they can obtain that next level of success here tonight against a good Bellwood-Antis team.
Bellwood-Antis 8-4 last year, sitting at 1-2. Central at 1-2. Bellwood, though, a manageable schedule here coming up, despite the next couple of games being on the road. Miles Smearman kicks it away for Bellwood-Antis. They're in the blue here at home. Great crowd, great to be with you. And off we go here on Friday Night Rivals. Pretty good kick by Smearman. That is taken by Locks, and he runs it out to the 34-yard line, and that's where the Central offense will take over. Carter Shank, the junior, gets the start at quarterback. This was a pass-heavy offense the last couple of years. The same thing this year with Jesse Muthler, but with how young this group is, expect them to lean heavily on the running game tonight.
Yeah, they're going to, and he's going to see the football a lot, but if they can mix in the pass and keep that defense off balance, that'll go a long way toward them having success.
A lot of young, talented wide receivers for this Central team and some big guys up front. Should be a physical matchup. That's something that Bellwood-Antis prides itself on, that physicality. So the junior Shank makes his first start at quarterback. His legs are a threat as well. Colton Harbaugh totes the rock, picks up a yard or two as we take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. And there is that Central offense we were just talking about. Dixon, very talented wide receiver. Of course, Musay we talked about in the open. And then that line's pretty big. Flaw, Malat, Fedesco, Pareca, and Barnes, the right tackle. 6'7", 300 pounds. You can't miss number 75 as he lines up at right tackle along the offensive line. A 2-yard carry for Harbaugh on first down. And officials timeout here. They're working on the jersey of Musay, the running back. Second down and 8 just underway. Dump it off to Musay. Get him in space with his speed. Unable to make Gibbons miss. Tripped him up after a 5-yard gain. Third and short coming up as we take a look at that Bellwood-Antis defense. Our starting lineups tonight are brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts, and a defense for Bellwood-Antis that needs to come up with a stop here on 3rd and 2. Really good linebackers with Loveridge, McCartney. Gibbons, the corner, very frequently factors in on the tackles as he did on that last play. So Harbaugh back into the backfield here with Shank, who is a threat with his legs, and he's going to take it himself, lowers the shoulder, and it is a first down. And that's brought to you by UMH Properties. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit UMH.com.
Good first series for Central. A couple of runs. They mix in a short pass, a little swing pass, and move the sticks. That'll give a young offense a lot of confidence.
I'm sure Jerry Albright excited about this start for a team that has struggled offensively this year, putting up just about 14 points per game. Only 44 points through their first 3 games for what is usually a high-powered Central offense that we've grown accustomed to seeing. Musay, and nowhere to go. He's going to be dropped for a 1-yard loss. The ball comes out. Is he down? And they're going to rule down by contact on the play as Musay was brought down by Alex McCartney. McCartney, those big numbers last week, part of that very stout Bellwood defense. Both these teams defensively have been pretty good here over the last few weeks.
Well, here's another look at that last play. As soon as he got the football, great pursuit by that Bellwood-Antis defense. They talked about their speed coming off the edges.
And you would agree that he was down before the ball came out.
Sure looked like it.
Yeah, McCartney, especially on that defense for Bellwood-Antis, 15 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. All of them coming last week. Had a pick earlier this year against Bishop McCourt. A couple of hard luck losses for the Blue Devils, despite all the injuries. Musay, again, nowhere to go. Bellwood-Antis with that physicality up front. And you pick a whole host of Blue Devils there at the bottom of the pile coming up with the tackle. Looked like Shedlock was the one leading the charge. A 1-yard loss in 3rd and 12 coming up.
Yeah, not a situation you want to be in if you're Central, 3rd and long.
How about that there? You have a safety playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. He is a smart football player for Bellwood-Antis. They rely on the junior Curtis Shedlock a whole lot.
And just no running room right there.
See if Schenk goes to the air for the first time on 3rd and 12. Good protection from that right side. Heaves it downfield, overshoots his intended target. Looking in the direction of J.J. Mushlin, the team's leading receiver, overshot by Shank, and Bellwood-Antis forces Central to punt.
Yeah, good defensive play right there. Just really nowhere to go with the football. You see him turn. He might have been open for a second. The ball just a little bit overthrown.
So Adam Laux on to punt. 1 first down on that opening possession. Put in the direction of Dormany. He's going to let it skip, and it checks up at the 32-yard line. And we'll get to look at that Bellwood-Antis offense for the first time. They're without Braden Partner tonight, so Brendan McNeilis making his second varsity start. Made the start last week in a 7-6 loss at Huntington. Bellwood-Antis dominated the football game statistically. As we take a look at that starting offense, this starting lineup brought to you by the Good Feet store. They dominated statistically, Rick, but really struggled to capitalize on their opportunities.
No, that was one of the keys to the game, finish drives. That's what their head coach, Nick Loveridge, said. We've moved the ball. We just make mistakes at the most inopportune moments.
They have a ton of confidence in McNeilis. Just a sophomore. But expect them to pound the rock tonight with Alex McCartney, our player to watch at the top of the broadcast, barrels forward for 1. He's averaging more than 5 yards per carry, ran for over 100 yards in each of the first 3 games this year, and that's what this Central defense is going to be tasked with stopping tonight. He's a physical runner, Rick.
Yeah, he is. He's a guy that'll run between the tackles, but he also has that good burst of speed to get out on the edge. Very talented young man.
Ethan Stern, 66, big defensive tackle, making the stop on that first play to get positive yardage. Now throw the ball out into the hands of Gibbons, and he turns back to his right and turns what looked like no gain into a couple of yards. And before this third down, let's take a look at that starting defense for Central. Again, our starting lineups are brought to you by the Good Feet store, America's arch support experts. And this, again, a group of really talented linebackers. Nisley, Harbaugh, and Marks. Jerry Albright said to us, we let the defensive linemen clog up lanes. Linebackers, they make plays.
Yeah, sounds like the old Blitzburg days in Pittsburgh.
That's something you're familiar with growing up and watching that. Alex McCartney on 3rd and long gets near the line to gain. Really close. Depends on the spot here.
Well, that's going to be really close. Well, they're going to say first down. There's another look right there.
Just a really physical run for McCartney. And when you have a back like that, it opens up the playbook in a 3rd and 5 type situation that the Blue Devils just had.
Yeah, you don't hesitate to put the ball in his hands and let him try to pick it up himself, basically. Got a little bit of a surge from the offensive line there, and he did the rest.
That first down brought to you by UMH Properties. So each team with at least 1 first down on this opening possession. And now bidding for more. Look at McCartney knifing his way downfield. And he picks up 16 yards, dragging defenders into Central territory for another UMH Properties first down.
Well, we talked about his ability to run, get the tough yardage, and also that burst of speed he has right there. We saw them both on the last 2 plays, Brian.
This is a very good backfield. He certainly is the bell cow. Went for 138 and a touchdown last week. 104 yards against Bishop McCourt and 115 yards and 3 touchdowns against Clearfield in the team's first 3 games of the season. Chase Plummer, pretty good option number 2. Pinballs his way off a couple of would-be tacklers and gains 5 on first down.
Yeah, that Bellwood-Antis offensive line, they have 3 3-year starters, so they're a very experienced veteran crew and very reliable.
Nick Loveridge loves to coach those, what you call them back in the days, those hogs up front. I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore. But they got Jace Quick. You see him right there, 73, the left tackle back this week. Bryson Hescox had filled in admirably. Another guy banged up, but a big part of this offense. And Plummer running behind big number 73 this time. Picks up 2 and a 3rd and short coming up here for Bellwood-Antis.
One of those hogs was a Western PA kid, Russ Grimm. I think I want to say Southmoreland High School. Here's another look at that last play right here. And that was a read option, and he decided to leave it with his running back.
Got the pulling guard, Sam Moser, sophomore, helping pave the way. And again, that entire playbook open here on a 3rd and 3. It is McCartney. He slices, finds a seam stacked up right near the line to gain. this awfully close. This time it looks like he may be an inch shy of the first down, but you would suspect that Bellwood-Antis would go for it.
Yeah, this is definitely 4-down territory. And he almost was able to pick that up after being contacted. Really, right at the line of scrimmage was the first contact. And the yards after contact, he picked up about 2 3/4, and he needed 3.
Let's see if they go right back to McCartney here. He's with Plummer in the backfield. Direct snap to McCartney. In fact, lowered the shoulder. He's close. I don't know that he got there. The spot from the near side of the field, it looks like he may have it.
Central racing off the field. They think they stopped him.
Meanwhile, Bellwood's offense is staying on the field. Ran right into the teeth of the defense. And this is awfully, awfully close as we take another look.
And here it is. It's going to be tough to tell. Boy, that is really, really close. Great job by the Central defense right there.
The initial surge by Jet Butler, the junior defensive tackle. First contact there on McCartney. And they'll have to bring the chains all the way across, wade through the grass here on the field. I'm not sure if they own a lawnmower here at Bellwood-Antis or if they're trying to keep the grass high to slow down the speed of Central here tonight. You and I were both down there pregame. One of the great surfaces, but certainly the grass growing despite the drought.
It's amazing how that happens.
It's a big play here. Only 4 and change left here in the opening quarter. Each team's only had the ball once. And this is a matter of inches to see if Central got the stop. And it looks like they did. Wow, how about that work by that Central defense? Jet Butler leading the charge. And the Central defense comes up with a stop inside its own territory. Central with the ball when we come back. Scoreless, 4:12 to go. Here in the opening quarter, you're watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture.
Oh, there's nothing down.
Welcome to the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals. I'm Joshua Hauser, the district manager here at the Good Feet Store in Altoona. As America's arch support experts, we believe everyone deserves to live the life they love, free from foot, knee, or back pain. From our local athletes on the field to our friends, family, and neighbors, life is a journey we all take one step at a time. Let your local Good Feet Store help you take that journey without pain. Good luck to both teams tonight, and we hope you enjoyed the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals.
Is their offense was on the move, but now a tale of two defenses for each of these two teams. A stop on the opening possession. And this is kind of the story for each of these two teams here over the last few weeks, improving defenses that have them on the right track.
Yeah, and you know the old adage, defense wins championships. When you can get a lot of stops, you give yourself an opportunity to win a football game. And that's been the story really for the Bellwood-Antis offense, Brian. We touched on it earlier. They've been moving the ball really between the 20s, and then they bogged down. They didn't make any mistakes there, no penalties, no turnovers. Give a lot of credit to the Central defense.
McNeilis did throw the ball 21 times last week, so if you're wondering, will they still throw with partner out tonight, the answer is yes. That's still to be determined for Central as well. Samaj Mousse takes the toss, and he is tracked down on the perimeter. Good play by Curtis Shedlock again coming up from the secondary. And he is a safety who loves to play, as we've seen early, right near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great pursuit, great closing speed. And they're basically daring Central to throw the football right now. They are putting a strong front up there, a 9-man front in some cases, and single coverage on the outside, and saying, Central, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to throw the football to do it.
All defenders, Rick, are within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. There's nobody deep, and now they do come out and throw the football. It's a pretty good contingent of wide receivers here for the Dragons. Laux makes the catch, picks up 4, and look, if they're going to give you that, you'll take it for Central, and maybe you can get your quarterback, Carter Shank, into a rhythm. He was just 2 for 8 last week in relief of Mueller.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Get him into some sort of rhythm, kind of spread that defense out, get him off balance.
Turns it into a 3rd and 5 officially as we wind down on 3 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Just the second offensive possession for the Dragons of Central. Shank to his left for the first time, delivers a dart, heavy collision, but it is held on to by J.J. Mushlin. And that's a first down brought to you by UMH Properties.
That's a really nice throw right there by Shank, and as you said, Brian, he came up and laid a lick on him, big hit.
Jackson Dormany, the safety, with the hit, but it's a first down to extend this possession. Feels like a game that's going to be dictated by field position, Rick, and a game that's going to be determined by which team blinks first. Is there a big mistake? Can a defense create a big play on either side?
No, I have that same feeling.
Fresh set of downs, and back to the ground for Colton Harbaugh. Harbaugh tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Under 2 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. No score between Central and Bellwood-Antis, a pair of 1 and 2 teams squaring off. Tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is brought to you by UPMC. Appreciate you watching wherever you are tuning in here tonight. Central huddles up, and both teams exhausting the play clock here on their initial possessions of the football game. Shank looks in command back there, and they're going to run with Shank. It's a good lead block from Harbaugh, and he bounces off a couple of would-be tacklers, takes it across midfield, and turns a 2nd and 10 into a 3rd and about 5.
It looked like that play was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, designed to go up the middle. He got the football, he realized there was nothing available, able to bounce it to the outside.
Coming up at halftime, Wendy salutes local teachers with our UPMC halftime report. A ton coming up at the half on our UPMC halftime report. We'll look at highlights from across the country as well. Honorees for our USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athletes. That's all coming up at the half. Could very well be the final play of this opening quarter already here for Central. Across midfield. Had 1 first down on their opening possession. Same here. And faced with a 3rd and 5. You say the motion man, Shank fakes it his direction, carries up the middle, then backpedals his way near the line to gain again. And once again, oh so close to the first down. They're going to say he's a half-yard shy, and 4th and inches coming up for Central, but that likely won't come until quarter number 2.
We love the effort by Shank right there, knowing where the stick was, having that nose for the first down.
We're pleased to announce the return of the Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest, sponsored by USCO Federal Credit Union. One deserving senior scholar athlete will receive a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of USCO Federal Credit Union. Complete rules are available on WJACTV.com/contest. All athletes are selected by their school's athletic directors or principals. Great night for high school football. Scoreless, though, so far. Big 4th down. And a decision for Jerry Albright when we come back to start the second quarter here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Here's one of today's West Central Equipment line mowers. For your lawn and garden equipment needs, turn to West Central Equipment, your authorized John Deere dealer. And it's Isaac Fidesco, the center for Central. And this offensive line behind Fidesco going to be tested here for Central because they have a 4th and 1 to start this second quarter. As you can see, it is a full yard away there after the run by Shank. So that offensive front led by Fidesco in the middle. Tested here. We begin the second quarter with a 4th and 1 in a scoreless game. Central on the move. Second time that they've had the football. Shank gets a great lead block off the left side. He has the first down and more with the defensive front crowding the line of scrimmage. He picks up 10. And that first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
Yeah, great blocking up front on the left side of that Central line. Here's another look right here.
Colton Harbaugh, the running back, helping pave the way. And sometimes in those 4th and short situations, you can catch the defense so close to the line of scrimmage, he can break one off, and that's what he did.
Yeah, and you said it right, Brian. He was close to going the distance on that one.
Really impressed with Carter Shank so far. And he's a guy they've used all over the field this year. So it's not like the bright lights are too big for him. This is just the first time he's starting at quarterback with Jesse Muethler out for the game. They're hoping Muethler would play, but unable to go tonight. And Shank again, I think they've found something that's working right here. It's a 6-yard pickup off the left side. They're running behind big MJ Flaw and Brody Malott on the left side of that offensive line.
We talked about it earlier. When you're this banged up, you have guys playing different roles, and it could be just a test of wills here.
See him lower the shoulder, picking up an extra yard before going out of bounds. We're talking about it all night long. This injury report brought to you by Berger and Green, the injury and disability lawyers. And you can go up and down the lineup of both quarterbacks out tonight. And Jesse Muethler, the quarterback, out tonight for Central. Shank has been a workhorse, and they really haven't gotten anyone else on track on this offense. Not much for Musse tonight, not much for Colton Harbaugh that time. He's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. That's made by Ethan Shawley, who's very active, the defensive end.
Another look right here. Just great pursuit right there again by Bellwood-Antis. You saw Chase Plummer right there just going down the line of scrimmage, waiting for him to turn it upfield, waiting for his opportunity to stick his helmet in there and make the tackle.
He had a team-high 13 tackles earlier this year against McCourt. He leads the team with 24 tackles. Shawley, who is also in on that stop, a team-high 4 tackles for loss this year. Some big guys on that defensive front. Shank breaks a tackle, and he motors down inside the 20-yard line, dragging a defender with him. 9 yards and a Ziegler Chevrolet first down.
And you'll see it again coming right into your living room. Big hole on the left side of that line. He was able to stiff arm a man. That was Plummer, and pick up a few extra yards. Way to finish that run right there if you're Shank.
Rick, it looks like Bellwood-Antis is having trouble with the pulling guard that Central is using to help you get that extra blocker when you're using your quarterback in the run game.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you can do that, that can open some things up for you.
Well, their second-year head coach, Jerry Albright, told us that he was excited to see, curious to see what Shank would do, who's played some wildcat quarterback this year in short yardage spots, what he would do at the reins of the offense. They have slowed this game down. 2 minutes here into the second quarter. Samaj Musse, and he gets a bit of a seam. Again, running off that left side, picks up 3. Quinn Folk made the tackle. This is where that Bellwood-Antis defense pretty good this year, able to hold teams out of the end zone.
Yeah, they've been playing some bend don't break defense. Right now they are bent a little bit.
The ball down to the 14-yard line, 2nd down and 8 for Central. Just wonder, at some point, do they let Shank throw and catch the defense off balance? Well, if it's working, don't change it. Harbaugh was blown up on the play by McCartney, and that blew up the play. So he ends up losing a yard. And you saw that collision, Rick, between 12 and 34 here left side.
And here's another look again. Ooh, that's the defender just getting lower and getting the cleats dug in and winning that physical confrontation.
Alex McCartney has done that time and time again this year. He litters a stat sheet offensively and defensively. Any category, he's got at least a fumble, an interception. He's got his name in there on every category. So here is a 3rd and 8. Shank, a straight drop and a high pass off the hands of Jackson Dormany. The defender had the best chance. And it's a 4th and 8. Are you surprised by that play call there?
Not really. 3rd and long, go to the air. Maybe a little bit of an ill-advised throw as the corner had inside position right there. And that really never had a chance to be completed. As you said, Brian, Dormany had the only shot at that football.
He was looking in the direction of Adam Laux, the junior wideout. Laux goes to his left. Team's leading receiver, J.J. Mushlin, in the slot. Number 10. Bentley Dixon, right side of your screen. And they do roll Schenk that way. Gets protection, goes to the end zone, and it's well covered and incomplete. Couple of receivers there. And it was the aforementioned pair that I was talking about. And it's incomplete and a turnover on downs. The Bellwood-Antis defense comes up with a stop. We're going to step aside. No score, 8:27 to go here in the opening half. You're watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Defense coming up with a stop, and we're still waiting for some points here in this football game. At the end of the game, we'll have a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales, no one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. Really good drive, but no points for Central.
Yeah, I mean, 14 plays and, 53 yards, I think, and just bogged down right at the end. We give the Bellwood-Antis defense a lot of credit there, Brian. That play never had a chance to be executed. They had a lot of guys drop back in coverage, almost like they realized what play was coming right there, and they had it so well covered.
Without Jesse Muethler tonight, Carter Schenk has been really good on the ground. 6 carries, 37 yards. That's why I asked the question when they went to the end zone on 3rd and 8. Hey, do you consider running there knowing it's likely 4-down territory? Especially with the success they've had with him tonight. Alex McCartney's had a big night, and he's brought down great open field tackle made by Caden Horn. What a story, making the tackle at the 20-yard line after a 5-yard pickup. Horn tore his ACL in wrestling districts last year. That's a tough guy to break down right there, too. It's his first game in 5 months after that injury. A quick recovery for this young man.
Yeah, great to see him back out there. And as you said, great open field tackle. One of the toughest guys in the area in McCartney to bring down in the open field. And Caden Horn was able to make it happen right there. And he has to feel good being back out there with his teammates.
Well, they said that they're going to watch his snaps tonight, but the team was counting down to the moment that he got back. And boy, what an impact he is making as he drills Plummer along the sideline. Plummer does have enough for a first down, brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. But you can see the impact Horn's making in the football game here in the open field.
Yeah, absolutely. Sideline to sideline, and just has great speed. Very, very good tackler.
His teammates are asking the coaching staff every week, when do we get him? When do we get him? When do we get him back? Horn was still leading film sessions with his leadership, one of the few seniors on this team. Movement up front going against Bellwood-Antis here. I believe our first penalty of the game. First time tonight we hear from Joe Shalaba.
Number 74 offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Logan Ridgway, the senior right tackle, the guilty party. Gives us a little more time to put a bow on that story about Horn. Even when he was not in the lineup, he was still the guy leading the meeting room for this team.
That just shows you his dedication, his leadership skills.
Had 59 tackles last year. He's been knifing all over the field here on this possession for that Central defense. McCartney staying on his feet, dragging defenders. The extra effort turns what would have been a 2-yard pickup into a 7-yard gain as they get the penalty yardage back and then some. Harbaugh made the tackle finally for Central.
Yeah, he's just such a downhill runner, and he finishes runs, always falls forward. So hard to get to the turf. Look at that. Look at that fight and extra effort right there.
It took 2 defenders, and I mean all of 2 defenders, throwing everything they could into McCartney to bring him down. This just Bellwood-Antis' second possession of this opening half. We're almost halfway through the second quarter.
A lot of running on both sides, and the clock just keeps moving.
Misdirection to Gibbons and into the open field. Look at him go! Gibbons across midfield with a 22-yard pickup and a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
And that was Jet Butler who made the potential touchdown-saving tackle. Great call right there. You've been feeding McCartney pretty steadily. You fake it to him and run a little end around. And you see he's off to the races right there. Butler doesn't make that tackle, he's probably gone.
With McCartney out last year, Gibbons was the team's leading rusher. Here is McCartney, who barrels right back up the gut for 5 yards on first down. It's a really good offense and a dangerous offense because of all the different backs at the reins here. You have McNeilis. He has a lot of weapons around him to utilize in this offense once they get going in rhythm.
Yeah, and you mix in a very veteran, experienced offensive line, Brian, and that's a recipe for success in terms of running the football.
This is the type of game that I think Nick Lovrich was hoping to see from his team. They just need some points here at home in front of this big crowd. This is setting the stage for the backyard brawl next week, and there goes Chase Plummer off the right side, and now you're seeing all the options this offense has as Plummer picks up 16 more yards and another Ziegler Chevrolet first down for BA.
Well, they've been running left a lot. That time they run it to the right side. Again, just a great call, keeping that defense off balance. And he was 5-6 yards downfield before first contact.
Bellwood has moved the football on both of its possessions. Stopped inside Central territory, right about this area of the field last time they had the football.
That's been the story of their season so far offensively, according to their head coach, Nick Lovrich.
McCartney in the backfield. I'm not sure if there was miscommunication there on that exchange. McNeilis elects to keep it, ends up gaining a yard or two. We'll have to look at that again. He started to reach out to McCartney, and McCartney was not set to block there for the quarterback.
I thought the same thing. Right there it is. Yeah, that was definitely miscommunication. Not everybody on the same page on that play.
McCartney, 7 carries, 38 yards here in the early going, 4 for 24 for Plummer, and of course the big run of 22 yards moments ago by Colin Gibbons, who's also the team's leading receiver on the year. Nice job by McNeilis there not to allow that to become a negative play. Clean exchange this time. McCartney, big stiff arm down the sideline. Alex McCartney tiptoes. He's inside the red zone. It's another Ziegler Chevrolet first down. Now they're starting to get yards in chunks.
Yeah, they definitely are starting to get the chunk yardage. And again, off the right side of that offensive line. Another look here right into your living room. And you're not going to bring him down on an arm tackle. The great stiff arm right there to pick up a couple extra.
That is a strong high schooler. This team coming into the year had a little bit more swagger. It's a physical football team. That's on display here on this second possession. Just the second possession of the game for Bellwood-Antis. Waning moments of the second quarter. Alex McCartney's got the hot hand, and he runs over a couple of defenders. Harbaugh again finally brings him down, but he's inside the 10-yard line with a 7-yard first down carry.
7 yards on first down. That really sets you up offensively to do a lot of different things. You see that offensive line again just driving defenders downfield.
It's been important for them to get Jace Quick back on that left side. 2 really good tackles, and Quick and Ridgway on each of the ends, sealing things off for Bellwood-Antis. Chase Plummer, and he's got a convoy, and Plummer all the way down near the 2-yard line. It's a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet with another 7-yard pickup for this Bellwood-Antis offense.
This is a drive, Brian, that began at their own 15-yard line. You just see the movement up front, creating a little seam, enough seam for him to squeeze through.
First and goal now for the Blue Devils.
11th play of the drive.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining. 2.5 to go here in the second quarter. McCartney is the deep man. And he gets the carry and a flag before the play thrown at the line of scrimmage. The play blown dead. McCartney 5 rushing touchdowns already this year. Can he break the seal on this game?
Snap, encroachment. Number 70 on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You can hear from the sideline. Penalties against 73, Jace Quick. You can hear from the sideline, we don't have a number 70, and that's what our referee Joe Shalaba made another call there. Backs him up a little bit, but nothing slowed down Bellwood-Antis on this drive. Plummer and McCartney again in the backfield here behind Brendan McNeilis, who's played a flawless, he's managing it perfectly back there. It is McCartney, he dives! Is he there? Yes! Touchdown, Bellwood-Antis! A Good Feet Store touchdown. Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee here in this defensive tussle tonight, and Bellwood-Antis is on the scoreboard with the 6th touchdown run of the year for the junior Alex McCartney.
And that was an 11-play, 85-yard drive. And capped off by McCartney, the man who really is their go-to guy offensively.
He was the workhorse. Miles Smearman for the point after. Smearman's kick, you can see, tucked it inside the upright. It is good. And a 7-0 Bellwood-Antis lead. 2:01 to go, second quarter. Blue Devils on top here at home. And here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
That's a Bud's Auto Sales. Oldies.
Back here in Bellwood, great night for high school football. 7-0, the home Blue Devils in front as they just completed what is arguably, maybe not arguably, the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the quarter. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. Alex McCartney on the tail end of that drive, 7 yards out for a touchdown run. And Rick, that's an impressive drive.
That was 11 plays, 85 yards, most of it or all of it on the ground. And that came after a big defensive stop on the other side.
And there's reason to cheer now for the Bellwood-Antis students section as we check out the Crawford Gift Shop Spirit Cam. Crawford Gift Shop, your black and gold headquarters. Check them out online at crawfordgiftshop.com. Not black and gold here tonight. The blue and yellow of Bellwood-Antis is pronounced colors, and a 7-0 lead for the home Blue Devils, who deferred to start the football game, so they get it to start the second half. Big drive here for Central coming up as they'll get the football with all 3 timeouts in their back pocket. Just the 3rd time they'll have the ball here in the football game.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, last time Central had the football, they held on to it for 14 plays, and they moved the football effectively, just unable to finish off the drive.
McCartney up to 72 rushing yards on 11 carries tonight now, including his 6th rushing touchdown of the year. He's gone over the century mark in each of the team's first 3 games. Great kick by Smearman, taken by Mousset back inside his own 10-yard line, and Samaj Mousset turns it upfield, nearly breaking free, but he is brought down by Reed Schreier at the 33-yard line, and that very well may have saved 20, 30 yards with that tackle.
Yeah, no question about it. Mousse, boy, you can just see the moves he has right here. Watch him plant the foot, change directions, make a man miss, and gets a good block, turns it upfield, and almost went further.
Don't want to say he would have been gone. There were a few defenders there. If anyone can make a miss, it is Mousse, who's added an element of physicality, as we saw on that run, to his speed game here in his junior season.
Yeah, no, he got a lot stronger in the offseason, as Coach said, and he's become more hard-nosed.
Here, Schenk may be forced to throw, incomplete, looking for Laux. Schenk did have that short completion early in the football game. 2 Laux, 1 to Mousse in the flat, but otherwise has not been in rhythm here throwing the football. It was not contacted, just skipped it in. Again, no Jesse Muethler tonight. Say this, though, for Central. They have not turned the ball over. Their offense has been plagued by turnovers this year. Had 5 thrown interceptions in last week's loss against Tyrone, a game that was a lot closer than the final score indicated. Just got away from Central late, trying to take a few chances in the passing game.
That was a 1-score game with a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Their only win week 2 against Greater Johnstown, 14-6. Bellwood-Antis in the midst of a 2-game slide. Play clock winding down, and timeout taken by Jerry Albright and Central. So with the clock stopped, they're forced to use a timeout, and I'm sure he'd love to have that one back. Right now, Bellwood-Antis has all the momentum. They're dominating the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's such a huge part of any football game. We talk about it week. You really have a good chance to win the football game, and right now Bellwood-Antis with the upper hand in that department.
During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Meep, meep. Wow, what a night.
What's in that water, Brian?
Great crowd, terrific sunset here over Bellwood, Blair County. Where else would you rather be on a Friday night than here with us? Thank you for tuning in, watching the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Brian Tripp, Rick Hall, Jeff Page, and our outstanding FNR crew. There's a look at that sky again, as WJAC TV would like to thank and support our local schools, and the Good Feet Store also wants to thank our home school, Bellwood-Antis, for hosting tonight's game. WJAC TV and the Good Feet Store are proud to support our local schools, and tonight are donating $500 to Bellwood-Antis. It is a 2nd and 10 after the timeout. Set up the screen, but the pass behind Colton Harbaugh. A lot of misdirection there, and the quarterback was under siege on the play.
He was, and I think Bellwood-Antis had that diagnosed right from the start anyway. Don't know if it would have gone for too much.
Now the pendulum shifts back. Bellwood-Antis has a chance to get the football back and get off the field.
And there it is. Yeah, I don't think that was going to get too much. Yeah, Bellwood-Antis, they should have decent field position. Can they get off the field here on 3rd down?
I think right here is where you need to account, though, for the legs of Carter Schenk. That has been the best and really the only offense for Central so far. They were down inside the red zone on their last possession, got stopped at the 12, and then Bellwood-Antis went right down the field for the game's only points. They do run the football with Samaj Mousse, and the defense anticipates it, waiting for it. Bryson Hescock, the defensive tackle, led the charge, and now a timeout taken by Bellwood-Antis. And they still have 2 to work with, and just look at the way they're dominating. Big 63 Hescocks along that defensive front.
Yeah, tough to move. Gang tackling right there, just flying to the football.
He had a team high 6 tackles last week, and he's a big part of the reason the success Bellwood-Antis has had here in the second quarter with their physicality in the trenches. You know, Nick Lovrich, the head coach of the Blue Devils, told us it's because we've been in the weight room. I'll say this, though. I haven't heard a coach yet this year say, we haven't been in the weight room.
Well, we haven't been, you and I.
Yeah. Speak for yourself. Coming up, make sure to keep watching for the UPMC Halftime Report. We'll look at the highlights from around the country, plus Wendy's Teacher Appreciation Honorees and the USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athletes. Again, at the half, Wendy's saluting our local teachers with Wendy's Teacher Appreciation. That's all coming up during the UPMC Halftime Report.
And also stick around. Jeff Page going to be grabbing one of the coaches, headed off the field, get their thoughts on this first half, what we've seen.
I think for Central, one of the keys is going to be to get Samaj Musay involved in this offense.
Well, they got off to a good start on their very first drive after the opening kickoff. They ran it to him, then they threw him a little swing pass, as you said, Brian, in space, and they were moving the football there, and they've just bogged down since then.
Because of a few negative plays, Rick, he has -1 rushing yard so far. Good kick here by Adam Laux, and it skips. Gibbons takes it on the hop. There was no fair catch called, and Gibbons wrestled down at the 36-yard line. Alert there to hop on that football, preserves a little bit of time. Court Connolly, senior, down there on special teams making the tackle. Save some time, save some yardage here.
Yeah, that was a very alert play because that was a good bounce for Central. And that would eat more time and yardage, as you said. So that's a heads-up play by that young man.
Sometimes when that ball skips, too, everyone eases up a little bit, and Central was all over it. Big swing drive right here in the game. Bellwood-Antis gets the football to start the second half. They lead it 7-0. Can they matriculate it down the field again? I think there's no better word than that to describe what they did on their last possession. 11 plays, 88 yards, never threw the football. Movement up front on that right side. Logan Ridgway, but was he drawn off?
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 74 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Haven't heard often from Joe Shalaba tonight. A couple of penalties against Bellwood-Antis, but it didn't hurt him on that last drive.
And they got the call right there. Just didn't know the snap count, or just got out of his stance a little early.
McNeilis really has not had to throw the football tonight. Now we've got a timeout. And Central did not like the way the defense matched up with Bellwood-Antis spreading the field wide with 4 wide receivers in the game on that play. It was the second timeout taken by the Dragons. With 1:28 to go in the second quarter, the only score, an Alex McCartney 7-yard touchdown run. As it won't be long until he's up to the century mark again for the 4th consecutive week to start the year.
Yeah, he's terrific. Absolutely terrific. And really, after missing an entire season, he's really, I think, just getting back into game shape and coming back into form.
I think that's why there was so much optimism for Bellwood-Antis this year, coming off the year that they had last year. Live streaming for tonight's broadcast is brought to you by UPMC, life-changing medicine. Speaking about that last season for Bellwood-Antis, went 8-4 last year, 7-3 in the Laurel Highlands, and then had just a heartbreaking semifinal loss in the District 6 AA playoffs, 15-8 at Cambria Heights. Cambria Heights had 3 second-half fumbles in the game. Bellwood-Antis did not convert any into points.
That hurts.
And then you get McCartney and Plummer back this year. Really, the nucleus and that veteran group, that's why they're so high on what they can achieve. And even though it's a 1-2 start, as they get healthier, hopefully, right, that's why there's a lot of optimism around this program.
And they got banged up week 1 against a very physical Clearfield team.
I mean, they've played Clearfield, Bishop McCourt, who's great this year, and Huntington. And then tonight, Central, very physical opponents to start the year. The pass deflected and nearly intercepted. Mushlin leaping into the air, didn't get it himself, but he bats it away and nearly created the turnover on the ricochet.
Yeah, can't get to the quarterback, get your hands in the air, and that could have been a disaster for Bellwood-Antis.
If Samaj Musay makes that catch, he's gone. Neither team has made the big mistake yet tonight. Remember, we just talked about that a little while ago. You have a 7-0 lead. You're getting the football to start the second half. Nick Lovrich can't have it here, right?
How aggressive do you want to be?
Throw over the middle, pretty aggressive. Good screen play to Colin Gibbons, and Gibbons rumbles out to the 42-yard line, brought down by Harbaugh. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 5 timeout by Bellwood-Antis. And I think that's a play where, okay, if nothing happens, you think end of the half, but positive yardage, now they're in business.
Yeah, no question about it. Good safe play right there. Good execution. Great blocking you see downfield. And also getting in on that tackle was Levi Wareham.
One timeout left for Bellwood-Antis, one for Central as well, with the minute 13 left here in the second quarter. Here's another one of tonight's West Central Equipment line mowers. For your lawn and garden equipment needs, turn to West Central Equipment, your authorized John Deere dealer. Well, he's not on the field right now because he's taking a breather, but it's the center, Isaac Fedesco, number 74 there on the Central sideline. It's a luxury for Central to have enough guys that you don't have to play everyone both ways, but he's a big reason why that Central offense has moved the ball tonight. They just haven't turned it into any points.
Yeah, they had that one drive, 14 plays, turned over on downs deep inside Bellwood-Antis territory. And he kind of led the way there, really the anchor of that offensive line. There's a big play coming up right here, Brian.
See if Bellwood-Antis can turn this last possession, just their third possession of the first half, into any points. You get points here and then you get the football. With how few possessions have been available for each team here in the game, I know it's early, but it can get late real fast.
It sure could.
Alex McCartney off the right side, lunges forward, first down, 7 yards. That first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. And they'll get the offense lined up quickly here as they move the chains. The clock starts as the ball is spotted. McCartney to his right again, maybe a yard or two. Good tackle there on the defensive line by Bronson Myers, the big defensive end.
Well, they choose not to use their timeout here. Hurry up offense. Clock's still running.
Three receivers to the left here for Brendan McNeilis. Back to pass. Gets a little pressure. Myers nearly had him. Now look at McNeilis scoot down the sideline. Did he get out of bounds? Yes. That's a big, big stride to the sideline there to get out of bounds. The clock was still running. Here's the escapability of the quarterback.
Yeah, right there, able to shrug off the would-be tackler and dart for the sideline. And as you said, get out of bounds, although it looked like he came down inbounds.
Yeah, it may have been a break there for Bellwood-Antis. A couple of seconds did tick off the clock. So much for some home cooking on the scoreboard. I think everyone thought he was still in bounds on that far side of the field. So a 3rd and 5 now with 25 seconds remaining in the quarter. Bellwood-Antis does have one timeout remaining. Into Central territory. McNeilis to the air. They leave an extra blocker in. Throw into traffic. Nearly intercepted again. It was behind Gibbons, and Caden Horn almost picked it off.
Yeah, in the right place to make that play. Here's another look. Very good defense right there as he kind of became the defender on the play.
On the punting unit, Reed Schreier. Chance here to pin Central deep. Again, Bellwood-Antis will get the football to start the second half.
Yeah, if you're Central here, you just want to field the football cleanly or just let it go. I don't think if you're Central, you're too upset about being down by only one score at halftime.
J.J. Mushlin is the deep man here. Operation clean. Really good kick.
That's a nice kick.
Mushlin lets it skip, and it does go through the high grass down into the end zone. Someone at home is going to be watching this one back tonight saying, come on, the grass looks good. So 7-0 Bellwood-Antis lead. And Central, you suspect here, after the touchback, will just kneel it out and head into the locker room. What'd you like from Schenk in that first half to build on for this Central offense, even though they have a goose egg on the scoreboard?
I liked, and you used the word a couple times, command. He seemed to be in good command of the offense, and he was running that read option. He kept the ball a few times when he needed to. I think he made some really good decisions with the football. The passing game hasn't been all that sharp tonight for Central, but they had some effectiveness on the ground.
Joined by Harbaugh and Mousset in the backfield. Gives it to Colton Harbaugh. Harbaugh 2 or 3 yards. Jerry Albright going to let this go to halftime. End of the first half. The score, Bellwood-Antis 7, Central nothing. Looking to get their record to 2-2 on the year. You're at home. Big game tonight. Two teams hoping for a big second half. It all starts here in week number 4. 7-0 Bellwood-Antis is in front. And we'll wait and see here as Jeff Page is going to get Nick Lovrich, the head coach of Bellwood-Antis. Rick probably pretty encouraged Nick Loveridge.
Yeah, I would think so. His football team came out and they played very physical, and that's what they want to do. They want to be physical. They were physical, and they had some great blocking up front, which led to that long touchdown drive, 85 yards.
And Jeff, now a chance to talk to the coach about that first half.
Very, very tough half of football. Talk about every blade of grass, huh?
Yeah, we knew coming into the game Central was going to be really tough. They have a great program. So, it was a back-and-forth battle there. It was nice to see us kind of score there at the end of the half.
You got a little shake and bake going with McCartney and Plummer, 34 and 26, couple of nice backs.
Yeah, they're really good backs, and they'd be the first guys to say the line is what's kind of making things work for them. They complement each other a little bit, and our line is kind of starting to do some really good things for us.
Well said, Coach. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Up to you guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate it. 7-0 Bellwood-Antis in front here at the half. We'll have more when we come back here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
Friday Night Rivals Halftime Report. Now, here's our Wendy's Teacher Appreciation Teacher. This week, Wendy's is celebrating the hard work and dedication of Mr. Aaron Heim. This is the UPMC Friday Night Rivals Halftime Report. And now, here's our first USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year nominee.
I'm Greg Sisicki from USCO Federal Credit Union with tonight's first nominee for this year's USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest.
Congratulations, Martin Fatzinger of Bellwood-Antis High School. Martin's a multi-sport athlete, lettering in cross-country, basketball, and track and field. He's a 2-year tri-sport letter winner across his career. Martin was a district qualifier in track for the 800, the 1600, and the 4x800. He was named Varsity Rookie of the Year in basketball. At school, Martin serves as vice president of his class and is a member of the National Honor Society. In his community, he volunteers with the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry, Minithon, and his local church. For more information and complete contest rules, go to WJACTV.com. Coming up, our next Wendy's Teacher Appreciation Teacher. This week, Wendy's is celebrating the hard work and dedication of Mr. Kerry Naylor from Bellwood-Antis High School. Mr. Naylor serves as the ELA Department Chair, dedicating his career to helping students develop their written and verbal communication skills. As a published author, he uses his ability to relate literary content to students' personal lives, fostering both academic development and personal growth. Thank you, Mr. Naylor, for all that you do. Supporting and educating young minds is key to future success, and we're glad to have them on the team. Up next, Friday Night Rivals highlights from around the country, plus our final USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Good luck to both teams in tonight's Friday Night Rivals game from Ziegler.
This is the UPMC Friday Night Rivals Halftime Report.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Jackson's got to get something here. He got hit. The ball's on the ground. And you don't have any timeouts. They don't have any timeouts.
For the end zone. Caught! Flag! 17.9 to go. And
mistakes. But once they clear those up, West Seneca East is going to be a very good football team this year.
Extra point attempt and trying to get into the end zone for a 2-point attempt instead. After it was blocked, it was DJ Baker was the holder.
forcing them to pass the ball. Deep down the field to Harden, caught! Wow! Oh my goodness, did he actually come down with that?
Got him with the checkeration, strike up, the Silver Fox fights on. What a play call. This could be a penalty in the end zone, but that's an SCDC touchdown for the Silver Foxes.
Take us to the end here. Connor Kolka needing to convert for 2. And it is loose. Was it a catch and a fumble? State College is on the football. Yes! State College scores on the 2-point conversion. Hank Lustig scooped it up.
And now, our second USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year nominee.
I'm Greg Statici from USCO Federal Credit Union with tonight's second nominee for this year's USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest.
Congratulations, Lainey Berkheimer of Central High School. Lainey is a medalist in both track and cross country. She's a 9-time LHAC medalist, a 7-time district place winner, 4-time state medalist, 2-time national medalist, and 3-time Altoona Mirror Athlete of the Week. She's a winner of the Angie Giosa Award and the Outstanding Performance Award. At school, Lainey's a member of the National Honor and Spanish Honor Societies. In her community, she volunteers at church, assembling The Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
And we welcome you back here on the UPMC halftime report. The Bellwood-Antis Blue Devil Marching Band is on the field. One of the great traditions of high school football, the cheerleaders, the band, the entire community coming together. And I can't think of two communities that love their football more than here in Bellwood and, of course, Central from Martinsburg. They just rally around these programs. They're seeing a heck of a game, as are you at home tonight. 7-0 Bellwood-Antis in front here at the half.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. Both sidelines, going back to the fans, packed here. This place is packed tonight. Fans really enjoying this one into it. You can hear them screaming. Sometimes our microphones pick it up.
Let's take a look back at the first half highlights. This is a good old-fashioned ground and pound football game. All the highlights coming on the ground tonight. And, of course, the big story right off the top, both starting quarterbacks out, but Carter Shank has really moved the ball well with his legs for Central, but it's this running game for Bellwood-Antis that took over.
Yeah, Gibbons and McCartney really just kind of took the bull by the horns and said, follow us, boys, and the offensive line getting out in front doing their job and just creating enough seam for them to get started.
McCartney, 11 carries for 72 yards, including this 7-yard touchdown. It's the only touchdown tonight.
Yeah, and that was a tough run.
You can see 137 rushing yards for Bellwood-Antis, just 13 through the air, 59 rushing yards for Central. All in all, 8 first downs for Bellwood-Antis. Central 4. Each team only had the ball 3 times. It was, if you like defense, you like running, and you like two teams that are not afraid to be physical at the line of scrimmage, you came to the right place tonight.
Yeah, you definitely did. And we did see a couple potential touchdown-saving tackles, so give the defenses a lot of credit.
You wonder if there is that one big play that could swing things coming up when we turn to the second half. Bellwood-Antis will get the football, looking to add to a 7-0 lead. When we come back, bands off the field, teams back onto the field. You're watching the Good Feet Store Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Let's check out the Crawford Gift Shop Spirit Cam. Crawford Gift Shop, your black and gold headquarters. Check them out online at crawfordgiftshop.com. Bellwood-Antis fans supporting their team up 7-0 as their Blue Devils come back on to the field. This is a great student section, great community. Tonight is their youth night here, and how important this night is to this entire community. Nick Lovrich just raved about it when he talked to us during the week.
You know, Friday nights here are special. You know, the whole atmosphere is just something that the fans really relish and they just enjoy, and the people come out and they love it. They have a great time, and obviously when their team wins, they have a better time, but they just love being part of this whole thing.
Those cheerleaders are looking up to the girls with the pom-poms tonight. They want to be them one day. All these kids want to be either in the band or on the football team one day, and Nick Lovrich, or maybe the mascot.
Well,
right?
there's Mike Krzyzewski.
Nick Lovrich said a couple things throughout the week. Number one, the team, the cheerleaders, and the band all go to the elementary school, and they welcome the elementary school students to school. And then later in the week, some of his players go back and they read to the elementary school students. And he said his players are more nervous to read to those students than they are when they're out here on a Friday night. And then after the experience, right, they're a little sweaty. Palms are sweating before they go in. And then when they come out of it, they're like, wow, that is something that is an unbelievable opportunity for them to give back to the younger kids in their community.
Well, that's what it's all about. Every program should do that. I mean, you talk about youth football, but also the educational part. These are student athletes, and you know the student comes first.
Central back onto the field. They'll kick off here, and some of their fans here as well, and we'll hear from their head coach, Jerry Albright, when we come back to kick off the second half right here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. 7-0. Bellwood-Antis in front. Pair of 1 and 2 teams, but doesn't look like it here tonight. 2 teams just leaving it all out on the field. Jeff Page is with Jerry Albright, the head coach of Central, to see what adjustments they made here at the half.
Half of football. What was your message at halftime?
It's just that we had to play much tougher. We had a couple good drives, and we had a couple mental mistakes that broke it down, which ended up stalling the drives. We just can't make those little mental mistakes and do better.
You're on the road against a scrappy Bellwood-Antis football team. QB1 for tonight. Carter Schenk ran the ball pretty well.
Yeah, he's run tremendously. We knew he's part-time running back as it is, but he's running exceptionally hard. We're opening some holes for him. We just got to do a little bit of job getting their linebackers. 26 playing a heck of a first half. If we get him blocked, we'll have a lot more success.
Coach, best of luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you guys.
Jerry Albright, a 1991 Central graduate, 28 years as a coach from the youth level all the way to the varsity level, replaced Dave Baker last season, who retired after an illustrious 44-year career with 245 wins under his belt. And, of course, this is a program that has been the benchmark for District 6, winning 4 of the last 5 District 6 championships, 7 in the last 13 years, made the PIAA Final Four in 2015, 2016, 2021, and 2022. There is no such thing. You're not allowed to have a rebuilding year if you're Central. This is a young group. They have a really bright future, but as he told us before the game, they want to find a way to win now. They're going to have to find a way to come from behind in the second half.
Yeah, they know they're going to be good in the future, but they want to live in the moment. And just going back to Dave Baker, you talked about the legendary Coach Brown. We talk to coaches. We talk to the head coaches every week leading up to game time. He was one of our favorites. We love talking to him all the time.
I'm sure he's watching somewhere here tonight as Cole Marks kicks it away for Central. Bellwood-Antis, and that was almost fielded by Dormany on his knee. Play does continue, breaks the tackle from Laux and races out to the 35-yard line. That's nearly 30 yards changing there. Was he down? Was he not? Only a good return. We'll get to take a look.
Ooh, I think he was down. I thought the same thing right at the when it was at live speed. And it looked like Central almost kind of eased up a little bit, thinking maybe that was going to be the call.
I think that was Matt Narr from our crew. I had that shot. Great shot at Dormany there at the 10-yard line. So you have 23 yards difference for teams that want to run the football, and play is stopped here before this first snap of the second half. We work with the absolute best. Dave Emmenheiser leading our crew back in the truck. The men and women on our team do an exceptional job. They're here early, they're here late, and they're bringing the best high school football in Central PA to you each and every week.
Yeah, we can't thank them enough for the tremendous job they all do.
Of course, Greg Helsel at home, our statistician. Bellwood-Antis 150 first half yards. 72 of those were for Alex McCartney. Handoff goes up the middle as they use that misdirection so well. And his McCartney, he is impossible to bring down. Gains 2 on the play. They used that misdirection so well in that second quarter when they scored.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And see McCartney here at the end. He doesn't like to go backwards.
No.
He likes to fall forward.
Yeah, one direction. Full steam ahead. What a great runner. You see some of the first half stats tick in at the bottom of your screen. Tough first half offensively for Central if you're just joining us here tonight. Bellwood-Antis also without its starting quarterback. Braden Partner sideline. Brendan McNeilis is the starting quarterback tonight. And they're going the wrong way here. You talk about that Central defense. Chase Plummer brought down for a 4-yard loss. Central defense trying to establish physicality, establish the line of scrimmage. That's what Jerry Albright just told us, and they're doing it here.
Yeah, that's what he challenged him, I think, at halftime. That's kind of what the feel I got from listening to him speak. He kind of challenged his team to be more physical and match Bellwood-Antis' physicality. And as you said, Brian, first 2 plays, they have come out and they have answered the bell, so to speak.
Carter Stewart had the initial penetration on that play. Caden Horn, among others, helping to bring him down along with Cole Marks. 3rd and long, going to the air. McNeilis downfield on the money and hauled in. Down inside Central territory by Ethan Shawley. And that first down brought to you by UMH Properties. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit UMH.com.
Levi Wareham, the man who was on coverage, remains down on the sideline.
What a perfect throw.
Yes, it was. Lay it out there and let your receiver go make a play. Single coverage on the outside.
A 40-yard pass completion for an offense that did not demonstrate that they could throw the football in the opening half. As Rick said, Wareham remains down on the Bellwood-Antis sideline, the injured Dragon here.
The receiver came down right on top of him. He may have gotten the wind knocked out of him. I hate to speculate, and I shouldn't do that.
What a throw, though, by McNeilis.
Dropped it in the bucket.
Shawley had just 5 catches, 63 yards on the year. Had a couple of catches last week. And here's a look at where I'm getting rolled up on the play underneath the bigger Shawley.
And he'll get himself back to his feet. And the Bellwood-Antis faithful give him a little applause. That's just the kind of how they respect the game. That's respect for the game and your opposition.
Yeah, they'll even applaud next week at Tyrone. That's going to be one. We did the backyard brawl last year. Here's another look at great catch, by the way, by Shawley, high pointing that football. I'm with you. You don't want to speculate, but hopefully just got the wind knocked out of him walking off onto the sideline. How about that? We did that last year. We were here. We had a great backyard brawl. Came down to the last play. There's no better rivalry in Central PA than Bellwood-Antis and Tyrone. But you're right, Rick. Both the communities just love high school football, and they respect the heck out of whoever's on the other side.
The entire Bellwood-Antis crowd, they all had backyard brawl T-shirts on.
Their offense flinched here, so after the big 40-yard pass play, they're going to be set back. I think the penalties are probably adding up a little too much for Nick Loveridge here tonight.
That's our 4th one.
Snap infraction on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's one of those programs that's accustomed to winning. They basically have had a winning year every season since the early 2000s. See the movement up front again here from Bellwood-Antis. But even if it's a down year for their standards, as long as you beat Tyrone, you're good.
It's like Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, Michigan, the de facto national champions last year, I'd say. McNeilis fumbles the snap. And, again, it wasn't a good start to this half. They were in a 3rd and long, and then they hit the 40-yard bomb. And here they're going the wrong direction because of a penalty and a bad snap.
Yep. And that's exactly what Nick Loveridge said. He said, we have been our own worst enemy at times. We've moved the football, then we'll make a crucial mistake at a crucial time, either a penalty or something like right there, just a bad snap, and just has brought their offense to a halt several times this year in the opening weeks.
McNeilis just his 2nd varsity start, back to Chase Plummer. Plummer plunges forward for a couple. 3rd and long, 3rd and about 12 for Bellwood-Antis. Now, that's been their bugaboo all year long. It's a team that's been in every game against some really good competition.
Well, here's the thing, Brian. You're in 4-down territory here. Do you just try to take a couple yards and make a manageable 4th down?
Well, the way McNeilis just threw that last pass to Shawley.
That's exactly why I brought that question up. Do you go back to the air again and try to throw the ball downfield?
That's what those defenders getting lined up right now for Central are considering. With 8:40 to go in the 3rd quarter, Bellwood-Antis' first drive of the 2nd half. Colin Gibbons comes off the end, and Gibbons is drilled by Myers at the 25-yard line. And, Rick, I think that is a play call there, knowing that no matter what you're going for it on 4th down, 4th and 7 upcoming.
Yeah, I think they wanted to get a few more yards out of that, obviously, to make it a more manageable play, but good pursuit by the Central defense makes it a 4th and long.
Bronson Myers, defensive end, scraped all the way down the line of scrimmage from the opposite side to make the tackle. 4th and officially 6. Is this too far to run the football with Alex McCartney?
I don't believe it is. We saw him convert a 3rd down and 5 on the ground earlier.
They do stack the line, pitch it to McCartney, look to get him on the edge, and McCartney brought down after a 1-yard pickup. Caden Horn again makes the stop. What an impact Horn has had in his return to the Central lineup.
Yeah, he has absolutely been huge, Caden Horn. So good to see him out there.
Participating run there too, Rick. They were not fooled by that Blue Devil play call.
No, they were not. Great pursuit again. You're seeing the speed that really both defenses possess.
These are fast, physical football teams having a Ton of fun out here on a Friday night. Carter Shank was really good on the ground. They did not get Samaj Muse going in that opening half. Really just Shank, who gets the start with Jesse Muethler out tonight. A long lineage of Muethlers who have played quarterback for Central. Good 3-yard pickup for Shank. Just feels like Central's going to have to really earn it offensively, though, here in the football game.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are, and Bellwood-Antis is going to make them earn it. And they had Muse going on that first drive, the opening play. They ran the football, picked up a few yards, and they threw that little swing pass to get him out in space, and they've kind of gotten away from that a little bit.
It's been a well-called game on the Bellwood-Antis sideline on the defensive side.
There's a look right here on the last play. Shank, as you said, good verbiage right there, just kind of picking his way through. Not a lot of room there.
See who made that tackle. Alex McCartney again, who we spotlighted right at the top of the broadcast. One of our key players to watch tonight, along with Muse, who has been quiet. Thought they may go to Muse to the right. Instead, they go left. A gain of 2 for J.J. Mushlin, the team's leading receiver. And now Central faces the third and long.
Yeah, if you're Central, you don't want to give the football right back here. Bellwood-Antis had that play diagnosed.
Tackle by McCartney. He is all over the football field. And to do it both sides with how involved he is on the offense, how involved he is on the defense, wonder how he's feeling on a Friday night after the game.
I would guess tired.
Yeah, he's young. He can recover quick.
Very quickly.
Certainly helps if you can pull out a win as well. Both teams trying to get back to 500 at 2-2 on the year. This could be a big stepping stone the rest of the way. Dropped off for Colton Harbaugh. Harbaugh runs through the tackle from Plummer and ends up picking up 13 yards in a UMH Properties first down.
Boy, what a great call. They sent their receivers deep and just took the defense back with them. That made the linebackers back up a little bit and just snuck Harbaugh out into the flat. And that's a great call. Great execution there by Central.
If Central can get any type of balance going here, look out. Let's take a look at one of today's West Central Equipment line mowers. West Central Equipment, your authorized John Deere dealer. And on that Bellwood-Antis defense, big number 74, Logan Ridgway, playing both ways tonight as well. Big part of their physicality for Bellwood-Antis and why they've been so stout all night long. Back to Mushlin. Mushlin back to the line of scrimmage, dropped by Dormany after a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, just not much there. Defense playing tight coverage.
You wonder these easy pitches and catches, though, for the quarterback. Maybe get Shank a little confidence throwing the football.
Yeah, it possibly could, no doubt about that. And it might draw the defense a little bit closer and try to spring someone behind them. But this Bellwood-Antis defense, boy, they have looked very sharp tonight. Other than that one long drive, Central had their second drive of the game, 14 plays. They have been very, very good.
This just Bellwood-Antis and Central, each with one possession here in this third quarter. It's been, again, a low possession at a premium type of game. Shank keeps it himself, runs to the left, picks up a couple. Third and medium. See where they spot the ball. 3rd and 6 here for Central. And under 6 minutes to go already here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and you heard Jeff Page talk to Coach Nick Loverich about it, just saying you're fighting for every blade of grass out there.
Long blades of grass. Maybe that's what slowed Central's speed game down tonight.
Hey, home field advantage, baby.
Anything you can do.
You got to use it.
Here's a 3rd and 6, and it is caught by Muse, wrestled down by Shawley. Tried to get him the ball. Samaj Muse in space. Picks up 1, 4th down. See if they punt. Here's another look.
Yeah, good pursuit again. He was able to kind of shrug off the first man, but you see everyone else coming up and in support. And just nowhere to go.
They said when Muse goes, it opens everything else up. Well, Muse has not gotten on track here tonight, and it's kind of clogged things up for the Central offense.
It absolutely has, and I think the Bellwood-Antis defense is really keyed on him, knowing that he's the guy who makes everything go.
Try to move him all over the field, too, right? Get him touches in different ways, and that certainly has been locked down by Bellwood-Antis here tonight. Laux elects to throw over the middle, and Bellwood-Antis anticipates it perfectly. Heavy hit by Ridgway and McCartney. And the fake punt going into their bag of tricks does not fool Bellwood-Antis.
It did not fool them at all.
Look at this collision. Pass into heavy traffic. And McCartney delivers the blow.
Yeah, McCartney was waiting for that.
Cole Nisley, the fullback, had nowhere to go. A great field position for Bellwood-Antis. Any score here would make it a 2-score game. And the way this game's played out so far, I'll tell you, 2 scores feels almost insurmountable.
It sure does, Brian. And you talked about field position, game of field position earlier. This is the first drive for either team to start in plus territory.
Don't want to call that a mistake because Central's just trying to get something going, but chance for Bellwood-Antis to capitalize on that great field position with Alex McCartney, who jets to the edge, a stiff arm as he crosses the 30-yard line, run out of bounds. It's a first down brought to you by UMH Properties. And that's a 15-yard pickup for McCartney, who's just 2 yards shy of the century mark tonight.
Yeah, he's been so good. You see the blocking out front, able to shrug off an arm tackle. You're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle.
Ends up being a pretty good tackle in open space by Brooks Decker along the sideline, using that boundary to his advantage. McCartney goes in motion, and Plummer goes right up the middle and goes right into the end zone, untouched for the touchdown. Chase Plummer with his second touchdown of the year, and it makes it a 13-0 Bellwood-Antis lead.
And again, off the left side of that line, off a left tackle, and 30 yards later, finds himself in the end zone. Second play of the drive, that's all it took, and a big score by Bellwood-Antis.
Here's another look at that Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee for sure.
Yeah, no question about that. And Plummer, boy, he's a nice compliment to McCartney.
And the kick after by Smearman is good. And with 4:23 to go here in the third quarter, Bellwood-Antis opens up a 14-0 lead. Thanks to that explosive running game. You can only keep them contained for so long. A Good Feet Store touchdown, America's arch support experts.
Eight carries, 59 yards on the night for Plummer, 30 right there on that touchdown run. And that experienced offensive line, Brian, you kind of get the feeling that maybe they're starting to take over this football game a little bit.
Smearman, the kicker, is a part of a co-op with Tyrone, soccer player. He's got a great leg. So 14-0 game here. Next week, we're off to Clearfield. Huntington at Clearfield should be a great game next week. And that matchup on the Allegheny CW6, as we take a look ahead, it's sponsored by Thomas Feed Mill. The Allegheny CW6 can be watched over the air 6.4 on Breezeline Channel 714 and Comcast Channel 1007. Should be a good one next week. Huntington off to a surprising start at 3-0. Clearfield we had earlier this year, 2-1 on the year. Clearfield's at Belfont tonight. Huntington has got a tough one. They're at Bishop Guilfoyle tomorrow. We'll see what Huntington is made of. But what a year that they're having so far, getting back in the win column and entering the week atop the standings in the Laurel Highlands Conference. Samaz Mousse from inside the 10. Mousse swings it outside. Look out. A lightning bolt, Mousse. Out across the 40. And the ball comes out as he's thrown down. And the fumble goes out of bounds. So Central will remain in possession of the football. And that's what they're looking for from Samaj Mousse, trying to create a big play.
That is exactly what they needed right there. And he's the guy to do it for them. See another look here as he comes up to traffic. Watch a little stutter step move right there. And see you later. Able to shrug off a would-be tackler. And a good play there by a couple Central players. I didn't get the number, but he kind of backed off at the last second so as not to get a block in the back. That's a heads-up play.
The tackle was Smearman, the kicker, who jarred it out on the play. Of all players, the soccer player, Smearman, who's got a great leg, almost created a big turnover there from Mousse on the return. Colton Harbaugh, nowhere to go, thrown down by Chase Plummer, who just scored the 30-yard touchdown after a 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, Plummer having a real big game on both sides of the football here for Bellwood-Antis. Best starting field position of the night for Central.
That's saying something, too. Still back inside their own territory, especially with how their defense has played for much of this football game.
You know, they've been in second and third and long a lot tonight, and that is not conducive for success for particularly a young set of offensive players.
Just no momentum. No momentum offensively tonight. 14-0 ball game. That's why it feels like such a big hole that they're in here with just 3.5 to go in the quarter. Shank pass complete to Brooks Decker. And Decker brought down by Plummer and company. And another 3rd and long coming up here as we thank UPMC for sponsoring our live streaming tonight of the broadcast. Here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Jerry Albright and the central sideline. Don't know where you turn here now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. 3rd and a long 6, short 7. They've been in that situation far too often tonight for his liking.
Have some good young receivers. Bentley Dixon, Levi Wareham, who was banged up a little bit earlier. But he's trying to see if he's back in the game. Here is a deep shot and incomplete in the direction of the aforementioned Bentley Dixon. Incomplete. And this defense has Central scratching its head right now.
You could see the Central sideline, and the receiver kind of got turned around a little bit of contact there, but official doesn't throw the flag. Kind of benign from this angle anyway, Brian, so probably a good non-call.
You have not seen Caden Horn on offense tonight. He's only playing defense first game back. Offense stays on the field, recognizing how few opportunities they may have here in this football game with the 3rd quarter winding down and down 14-0. Must get to the Bellwood-Antis 47-yard line. Shank back to pass, and he throws. It's tipped and incomplete. Curtis Shedlock deflected the pass, intended for Laux, and Bellwood-Antis again takes over inside opposing territory.
Yep, another turnover on downs. And that really never had a chance right there. Just good defense right there. Inside position by Shedlock.
Dormans had an opportunity at it on the tip. Wareham has not returned to the football game. Brooks Decker is the man replacing him both on offense and defense. Alex McCartney, the ball comes out on the play. Central's on it, and the Dragons get it right back. How about that? Ethan Stern at the bottom of the pile had the football.
I'm sorry, Brian. We saw some miscommunication earlier by Bellwood-Antis, and in that situation, he just turned it upfield right there. They put the ball on the ground.
Great teams find a way to close out their opponent, and they had a chance to slam the door shut right there, but it just creaks open ever so much. Don't forget, coming up later on tonight, we will have our school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Maybe it's right there. If somehow, some way, Central can come back. Samaj Musay drops the quick pass from Shank. Didn't matter. Might have gone backwards anyway. But that could be the swing. That could be the big swing here for Central to get back in the game.
Yeah, an opportunity. Only turnover of the night so far for either club.
Didn't dampen the spirits on the sideline. I think they got cheerleaders from both teams over there. I see conflicting colors.
Yeah, both mascots side by side.
Probably exchanging Snapchats or Instagrams over there. Maybe it's TikTok.
There's too many to pick from.
Musay, then he is buried by Alex McCartney. Who else? Held on to the football somehow. I think it was a backwards pass, too.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, McCartney, he's so good at diagnosing what the offense is doing. Such a smart football player.
Central recovering the fumble on the botched interchange at midfield. Now a 3rd and 15. Here's a throw down the sideline. Gibbons makes the spectacular over-the-shoulder interception, and that right there may be your school bus stop of the game as Bellwood-Antis comes up with a takeaway after coughing the football up and gets the ball back on the INT. A Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee as well.
Yeah, that ball was just thrown up for grabs, and the Willie Mays type interception right there.
That is a spectacular over-the-shoulder catch by Colin Gibbons. There are a few standouts on this Bellwood-Antis team. McCartney, Plummer, Gibbons. This is a really good group, and that's just the skill position guys. Don't forget about the big guys up front. That feels like it could be the knockout blow right there.
It very well could be. Of course, we thought that last week.
If not, maybe it comes from McCartney. McCartney picks up 2. Give him forward progress out to the 34-yard line.
And we thought that last week in State College. They were down 3 scores in the fourth quarter and somehow came back to force that game into overtime against Harrisburg.
By far and away the best, most entertaining game we have ever done, right? State College was up 13-0. Then Harrisburg ripped off 34 points unanswered. They're up 34-13, fourth quarter. State College
blocks a punt.
Scores on that. Then you get the squib kick, onside kick, and they score a 2-point conversion in the final seconds after scoring with 25 seconds left. They still need a 2-point conversion. Goes double overtime, and Harrisburg wins it. State High was up early on Cumberland Valley tonight in a big mid-pen matchup, and Chase Plummer is getting those legs going here now. Plummer out across the 45-yard line. A 17-yard pickup and a UMH Properties first down.
That's a nice play right there. Just a little pitch. Get the big guys out in front. Some good blocking on the edge from the skilled position guys, which you love to see.
Bushland eventually brings him down just a yard shy of midfield.
Now, you don't like your safety making too many tackles, Brian. That's usually not a good thing for you.
Yeah, when we look at our charts, if all of a sudden all the guys at the back end towards the secondary leading the team in tackles, it's not a good sign. It's not the case. These are 2 pretty good defenses here tonight, as have been on display, but it is Plummer untouched again all the way down inside the 25-yard line. Rips off 28 yards this time, and another UMH Properties first down is the final play of the third quarter.
This veteran offensive line starting to take over this football game. Another potential touchdown-saving tackle.
Like Caden Horn, he came up injured on the play, jogs off. No time to recoup on the sideline as we reach the end of the third quarter. The score, Bellwood-Antis 14, Central nothing. Blue Devils in command here at home, looking to get back to 2-2 on the year. Here are the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Once again, congratulations to tonight's Scholar athletes. Usco Federal Credit Union is recognizing high school seniors with great accomplishments in academics, athletics, and community service this season with the Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest. The contest nominees will have a shot at a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of Usco Federal Credit Union. Complete rules at wjctv.com/contests. Martin, Laney, congratulations. Our two nominees for these two outstanding schools and outstanding communities here tonight. Right now, this game, Bellwood-Antis taking over. First half run for a touchdown, 7 yards. McCartney after a long drive, and then they had the two-play drive capped by Plummer last time. Both approaching the 100-yard mark here tonight, and now McCartney goes over the century mark as he goes over a defender and all the way down over the 16-yard line near the 15-yard line. When he runs, it is just a barreling style of physical football.
It absolutely is. He does not like to go down, and he makes defenders pay. Right there, he just made a man pay. Trying to make a tackle on him.
7-yard pickup on first down. 14-0 Bellwood-Antis. They're dictating terms of the football game here tonight because of what they've done at the line of scrimmage. Caden Horn is back in the game for Central. McCartney tripped up at the 10. It's a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. And right now, he is on track, and he is really hard to slow down when he has the hot hand.
Yeah, all the momentum right now with Bellwood-Antis, and this another potential touchdown-saving tackle. And right at the point of attack, just a wide open gaping hole right there. That offensive line, can't give them enough credit for what they've done here tonight.
And that was Horn who made that tackle after checking right back into the football game. You see him there, 27 in white, returning to the lineup tonight. Quick recovery from a torn ACL suffered during wrestling season. Alex McCartney barrels down inside the 5, stopped by Horn again. Feels like a little bit of deja vu as they're pounding on the door to make it a 3-score game.
One of our line mowers, Logan Ridgway, number 74 for Bellwood-Antis, just drove his defender. Look at him. You can see it right on the right side of your screen there. Just drove him all the way to the end zone.
Those big guys up front, they're the ones setting the tone. They won't get the glory, but they're the ones setting the tone here tonight.
As we have Mothzilla in our booth up here.
It's the biggest moth I've seen in a long time. Chance here for Bellwood-Antis to go up 3 scores. McCartney dragged down just shy of the goal line. We'll have a couple of cracks at it here. And he's trying to follow some of those big guys up front. Jace Quick back into the lineup tonight. Right, it's the Bellwood-Antis team starting to get healthier and doing it on that offensive line. And that's always a big thing if you can stay healthy in this long season. Ethan Stern, 66, tripped him up that time, but even he needed some help to get 34 to the ground. 3rd and goal. No reason to change the formula here for Nick Leverich.
No, I wouldn't think so. I would expect either McCartney or Plummer or somebody just to get this football here.
Well, they're both behind the sophomore quarterback Brendan McNeilis, who got the start tonight. It is McCartney, and McCartney right near the goal line. Touchdown, Bellwood-Antis, his 2nd tonight. And 7th of the season, a 20-0 BA lead. Had to work for that one for those 2 yards.
Yeah, I was just going to say, boy, give the Central defense a lot of credit for standing up right there and almost keeping him out of the end zone. It took everything they had, to push their way across that goal line.
Smearman on for another point after and to make it a 21-0 lead, and that one no good, just missed it outside that left upright. 20-0 the score remains. Bellwood-Antis in command here at home on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. All Bellwood-Antis now up 20-0 here on Central. There's reason for that. Bellwood-Antis sideline, those home bleachers to be rocking and rolling here tonight, trying to get back to 2-2. And this is a team that looks poised for a second half run. Next week they'll be at Tyrone, backyard brawl. We throw the records out the window, then at PO, which has had a good year, and then Bishop Guilfoyle, a home test coming up here to start October. Still a challenging schedule, but this, if they can get healthy and just get into the district playoffs, you're not going to want to see this team. Man, they make you earn it tonight, and their physicality is starting to wear down Central.
Yeah, and they are a physical football team, and when you can run the football and do it with so many guys that they can use to do it, that can just wear a defense out.
Maybe the lone blemish tonight, Miles Smearman missed the point after to keep it a 20-0 game. Louts, and Louts is under siege. Man, there is just nowhere to go tonight. Landon Sneath, first man down there, number 52. And Central way backed up here at their own 20-yard line. 22 carries, 118 yards, a couple of touchdowns for Alex McCartney. 98 yards on the ground for Chase Plummer. McCartney's gone over the century mark in each of the first 4 games here in 2025.
Yeah, and you would expect him to do that. He is terrific.
And that does not include everything he's done on the defensive side of football.
I was just going to say that, Brian. He has been an absolute beast on the defensive side of the football. And he's still, I think, I mean, you know, after missing an entire season of football, he's still trying to get his way back. This is only the 4th game of the season. He's just going to get better and better and stronger, you would think.
Yeah, the same for Plummer, too. Here's Carter Shank up the middle. And Plummer a part of the tackle after a 1-yard pickup. Meanwhile, Central, they'll hope to get Jesse Muethler back next week because this offense has been a little bit one-dimensional here tonight with Shank, who's left it all on the field. You can see he's doing it all with his legs, but they just don't have that element of the passing game that's made Central so dangerous through the years.
Yeah, huge loss having Muethler not in the lineup tonight.
You see him there in the white ball cap on the sideline. They hope to get him back next week. That allows Shank to become part of a 1-2 punch in the backfield, maybe a 1-2-3 punch in the backfield with Samaj Mousset and Colton Harbaugh.
Yeah, that makes them a lot. One guy makes their offense a lot deeper and a lot more difficult to defend.
Still have those young receivers, Bentley Dixon, Levi Wareham, who hopefully is okay. Mushlin just a junior. They lost Jay Hohenstein, 73 catches last year. Actually, it's an offense that Shank goes back to pass and steps up and is sacked and brought down for a 3-yard loss. I'm not sure if he ever went all the way down, but Quinn Folk is the man who wrapped him up before he got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think that is the first sack of the year by the Bellwood-Antis defense.
First one that's officially recorded, at least, in the stat column.
I had too much time on my hands this past week.
I had to double check to make sure you were right. I had it too. Back to Central, though. They returned only 6. They had 176 pass completions last year.
That's a lot of catches to replace. There's no question about that. We talked about it, Brian. They're such a young football team, and the future is incredibly bright, but they want to win now.
Well, sometimes there's growing pains, and this is going to be one of those lessons here tonight. Shank, and they've tried to use that short pass game to Harbaugh. Had a few productive plays, picks up just 2. And now they'll be forced to kick it away after another 3 and out from this Bellwood-Antis defense.
Here it is again. They ran this and did not let that play go for a long gain again.
No, that was Folk who was not fooled on the play. Senior defensive lineman had a nice series that time.
His coach calls him undersized but very scrappy.
I think that is one heck of a compliment for Folk.
It absolutely is.
Remember moments ago, Central got the ball at midfield after a turnover but was stopped. Gibbons had the interception. That ball was not contacted and rolls out of bounds. Dormany came up trying to field that. Lovrich, teaching moment with him on the sideline as we step aside. 6:24 to go here in the 4th quarter. Bellwood-Antis up 20-0 here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Well, this game decided up front. Bellwood-Antis has taken it over there. There's a big reason why, and I mean it. Here's one of today's West Central Equipment Lion mowers. West Central Equipment, your authorized John Deere dealer. Quite the game for Logan Ridgway and all his friends up front for Bellwood-Antis.
We saw him on that last drive running his defender into the end zone, just never stopping on the play.
And Bellwood-Antis has taken over this football game.
And so many times, so many games are won at the line of scrimmage, and tonight has been a glaring example of that.
Well, they said that they had their swagger back. And, Rick, I would say that is on full display here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Bellwood-Antis, you talked about them earlier, Brian, with all the skilled position players they have and the depth they have there, and they're getting healthier, and they are going to be tough to deal with.
This is an old-style football team. Here is Gibbons on the misdirections. Picks up 3. You know who deserves another tip of the cap, too? Brendan McNeilis making just his second varsity start here tonight with Braden Partner out. Look at that last play first. He's picked up 3.
No, I definitely agree with you on McNeilis.
They said he resembles, and this was a compliment, sometimes it's not taken that way, a game manager a lot like Holden Trier, who led them to that great year last year, to 8 wins and all the way to the district semis. Said they think very highly of McNeilis, and he has operated this thing nearly flawlessly. Look at Plummer, and he's able to zigzag his way for 3 yards. That puts him over the century mark, joining McCartney there tonight. Another good physical run.
That's a two-headed monster right there, like we talked. That's going to be really, really tough yardage, 3-yard run right there.
Says something, too, when you shrug a guy off like Carter Stewart, who had a big game earlier this year against Greater Johnstown. Hands on the hips, though, for some of those defenders at this point with what Bellwood-Antis has done. Plummer and McCartney, pair of 100-yard backs tonight in the backfield, but backed up on this play. Nice play by Cole Marks, jetting through, stopped him for a 1-yard loss. Bellwood-Antis will punt.
Give the Central defense a lot of credit for standing up, making a play, getting off the field, getting their offense back on time. Certainly their enemy. I'll tell you, their defense has been pretty stout tonight. It's been really good. I mean, they've given up a couple plays here. They haven't given up too many huge plays.
I think their defense played well enough to win this football game.
I would agree. I absolutely would agree.
They've had their backs against the wall all night because they've been on the field the entire night.
No, I would absolutely agree with that, Brian.
Low snap is handled by Reed Schreier. Mooslin tries to swing to the edge. They have not unleashed Mooslin and Mousset's speed here tonight, Central. And we talk all about the physicality of Bellwood-Antis. They're a pretty fast football team as well. Live streaming tonight brought to you by our friends at UPMC Life-Changing Medicine. I think you look at some of the build for these Bellwood-Antis players. You forget how fast a McCartney, a Gibbons, a Plummer, the list goes on and on. Just the team speed across the field for them as well.
You know, talking to Gerald Albright, he said his young team really struggled in the opening week about adjusting to the speed of the game at this level. And I think Bellwood-Antis kind of takes that speed to a different level, even maybe with the speed they have on defense.
Nothing for Samaj Mousset on that first down carry. I agree with you. I think obviously they tried to limit possessions tonight, run the ball, keep it a short game, but just have not gotten their run game on track at all. It's just been neutralized by that front for Bellwood-Antis, which is playing all 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they have challenged. They've come in with a great plan tonight.
Yep.
Great defensive scheme. They've challenged Central to throw the football. They know they're going to have some trouble in that area. They said, we're going to stop the run. And if you can beat us throwing the football, go right ahead. And they just came in with a great plan, a great scheme, and they've executed it flawlessly.
Shank, the leading rusher tonight for Central, the quarterback, making the start, and Mousset met in the hole. I mean, every hit, every tackle, there's a whole group of players there. Connor Mays, number 90, another heavy hit.
And third and long, situation they have been in far too frequently tonight.
Huntington and Clearfield, our game next week. Here, week number 4. We'll reach the midway point, week 5 next week of our high school football season. Bentley Dixon on the catch. He has first down yardage, a pickup of 16 yards. That's good for a Ziegler Chevrolet first down. That just has not been there tonight. Good to see him get going here.
I don't know if we'll see it on the screen, but the defender slipped. He was getting back up and into the play there. That was Brady Hostler kind of slipped as he was backpedaling.
Good throw, though, right on the money, that time from Schenk. He delivers a nice football. They talk about that speed. It's how do you get to that second, third read in your progression for a guy who hasn't had many opportunities back there. Very few flags on Central tonight.
0, actually.
And it remains that way. It's going against the Bellwood-Antis defense.
That'll be their 5th of the night.
Many of those offensive penalties putting the team into first and second and long situations and ended up not hurting the Blue Devils.
Now that first scoring drive they had, they were able to drive at 85 yards, overcome 2 penalties on that drive, and that really set the tone, I think, early in the football game.
Schenk throws, and catch made by Dixon. And immediately stopped by Hostler.
Depending on the spot, he was right at the stick, so they're going to spot it about a half a yard short.
Good open field tackle by Hostler, not even letting him lean forward. It's a good stick.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
2nd and 1. Schenk to his left. He's made some good throws in that direction today, and that's the case again as he completes it to Marks for a first down out to the 49-yard line. They'll move the chains. It's a Ziegler Chevrolet first down. Here's the bad news, though, for Central. You're here at Bellwood-Antis tonight. Bishop Guilfoyle at Huntington. Your next 2 games after this, teams atop the league standings.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough throw right there, thrown across your body. And he put it right on the money.
You can see what an athlete Schenk is. He's made that throw a couple of times tonight, and he's delivered the ball well while throwing across his body.
Yeah, that is so difficult to do.
Don't forget our trophy presentation still coming up here after tonight's game. We'll also have our Levin Furniture play of the game and take a look at our Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Our school bus stop of the game still coming up as well. I think I know where that one's going to go tonight. Schenk's in a rhythm here as he completes it to Blake Dick.
You see Bellwood-Antis kind of sitting back in a little bit more of a prevent defense. You mentioned earlier, Brian, they didn't have a defender more than 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage. They're sitting back a little bit more now. You look at their defensive alignment.
Another Ziegler Chevrolet first down. Good adjustment by Laux to make the catch. It's going to take a whole host of Blue Devils to bring him down. Dormany and Mays make the tackle. 1-yard pickup. And Terry Albright's going to coach this right down to the end. Timeout on the field.
And look at all the blue jerseys in the area.
They've wanted it tonight. They're swarming all night long. They're like the gnats and the moths up here in the booth. Central takes the timeout. Some encouraging things here for Schenk in the passing game on this possession.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about that. And as you said, he does throw a nice football.
But for much of the night, trouble getting going on the offensive side as we take a look at tonight's school bus stop of the game.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Make sure you stop when that arm is out and the red lights are flashing. And here it is after the turnover at midfield, a 2-score game, and a great interception over the shoulder by Colin Gibbons.
Yeah, it was terrific.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension. That's tonight's school bus stop of the game. 2nd and 8. Shank back. Shank under pressure. Shank tucks it and brought down by Mays back near the line of scrimmage. That may be sack number 2, as it looks like they did spot the ball for a 1-yard loss. Timeout by Central.
Great coverage, just nowhere to go with the football. He looked downfield, and right there, you talked earlier about looking over different progressions. He looked at a couple different receivers and then just decided to tuck it as he ran out of options.
Who is your player of the game tonight?
Alex McCartney.
Had a couple of options to pick from there, huh? Gibbons, the interception, some big plays on offense.
Yep.
Chase Plummer above 100 yards as well, but really, McCartney's the driver of this football team.
Yeah, he was the guy who really set the tone, I think, with his physicality and his physical running.
No doubt about that. Student section, I think they're starting to file on out. Ready to celebrate this win with their classmates here tonight with the entire community come together.
And you have to be proud of me, Brian. I did not make one McCartney and wings joke tonight.
One timeout left for Central. Shank tucks it, looks to run, and gets through the tackle of Mays. And I thought was going to be on the wrong end of a heavy hit. Ends up delivering the hit. First down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. Picks up 13 yards on a scramble on 3rd and long.
Yeah, he punished the defensive back right there and took the support of his teammates to come over and get him to the ground. Watch this right here. You'll see a huge collision. Right there, able to shrug off a tackler and watch him punish the defensive back coming up.
That is a big-time hit delivered by your quarterback. Timeout Central. Their final timeout with 32 seconds left. This was a scoreless game after the opening quarter, and then a touchdown in each of the next 3 quarters for Bellwood-Antis tonight. 2 for McCartney and 1 from Plummer. And I love this at Jerry Albright. Young team, right? You need to get them all the reps you can. That's why you're using your timeouts here down the stretch.
Yep. Brian, would you call this, and I kind of would, I think a workmanlike effort tonight from Bellwood-Antis.
Very clinical, very much in control. Nothing super electrifying, but physical, good old-fashioned Bellwood-Antis football. And that's on display here as we take a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. Rick, it was their first touchdown drive, and really the only points they needed tonight with how good their defense was.
And it was a huge drive. It was 85 yards and 11 plays, and they mixed it up. They got a lot of different people involved. They ran it to both sides of the field. It was just a clinic, that drive. Not much more you can say about that.
Eventually capped by the 7-yard touchdown from Alex McCartney. That's your Bud Auto Sales drive of the game. Second look at it there as he went into the end zone. First 6 points of the night. And as it stands right now, the only points that they needed tonight. Good adjustment to make the catch behind Parker Scott as he twists and makes the grab. And so first down from Ziegler Chevrolet. They removed the chains. The ref stopped. I mean, he was a yard shy. Now they aren't going to mark it as a first down despite the football. The official, the linesman on the far side of the field, came in, stopped, and was pointing for a first down. It was honestly nowhere close.
You were right. That was a heck of an adjustment to the football. Just a slant route thrown a little bit behind him. And I think the official kind of got
caught up.
Yeah, where he was on the field. We've seen some great officiating this year.
Unbelievable. I think every game we've done, the officiating has been tremendous. So this crew tonight, we're not just saying that, trying to make good there. Having a little fun with our friend here.
No, the officiating's been really good this year.
There he is again. Great catch despite the hit. Held on to the football. Now you can stop it for the first down until they spot the ball and move the chains. Down inside the 15, clock the ball with 9 seconds on the clock. That's a great catch by Scott.
Yeah, he's come off the bench here and done a really nice job.
Yeah, these are young guys in now, and not the young guys that get the regular reps, but with Shank, they're going a little bit deeper into the bullpen.
Yeah, and there's a big difference, Brian, as you know, between doing it in practice and doing it out here in live competition under the bright lights. And any rep you can get a young guy in this situation just helps his development, helps him grow.
Under the bright lights with the great Rick Hall on the mic. The mayor of Johnstown himself. Shank, trouble with the snap. Trouble in the backfield. Down he goes, and that will do it. 20-0. Bellwood-Antis back to 500. They have their second win of the year, and they are fired up and deservedly so. A clinical performance tonight for the home Blue Devils. They come away winners 20-0 over Central in a physical, well-played football game by the home team.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Like you said, nothing spectacular in terms of plays or anything, but just sticking to what works, playing to your strengths, and just playing to win a football game.
We'll be back with the trophy presentation. Don't go away. We'll wrap things up when we come back here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Love-In Furniture. Congratulations, Blue Devils of Bellwood-Antis back to 500 with a 20-0 win tonight over Central. They are the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals winner tonight. They're about to get the Friday Night Rivals trophy, courtesy of the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving. Jeff Page is with the winning team down on the fields.
A shutout at home. Central, a young team, but a scrappy team. Great tradition. How does it feel to get another win?
It feels really good. You know, we kind of righted the ship from where we were last week. Went back to the basics, and the kids did the little things, something we preached all week. They did the little things, and we were successful with it.
Really, really dominated on both sides of the football in the second half. Was that part of the message at halftime?
Oh, definitely. That's something we try to preach all the time. You know, we talk our guys up front. We think they're good, and we want to make sure that they're controlling things. Our backs hit the holes that they created, and our guys made plays in the secondary. So I thought it was a great day.
Coach, I'm going to turn to my left here. We got number 34, Alex McCartney, our player of the game, Friday Night Rivals player of the game. Alex, during the broadcast, our guys up in the booth talked about how you finish runs. You bring the boom and kind of punish the opponent. How do you feel about the performance tonight?
I give all praise and glory to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I just feel great to win with my team tonight.
Outstanding. What do you got to say about that offensive line, too? Because there were a lot of pancakes downfield.
They're a unit. They're my boys.
Amen. Well, guys, it's my privilege and pleasure. The Good Feet Store Friday Night Rivals Trophy, brought to you by the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving. Coach said that I need to give this to our lineman here. So, guys, I want to give you this Friday Night Rivals Trophy. And Bellwood-Antis Blue Devils trying to make some noise. Back up to you guys in the booth. Thank you, guys.
I love the job that Jeff has down on the field. He's having all the fun down there. Said best job that there is. No doubt about that. That was a great performance tonight by that team. They have reason to celebrate as we take a look at tonight's Levin Furniture play of the game. A lot of love to Alex McCartney tonight, but it was a 1-2 tandem in the backfield with Chase Plummer. Here's his 30-yard touchdown run untouched, and that is our Levin Furniture play of the game. A whole cast of characters running behind that big offensive line.
And you said it at the time, Brian. You said a 2-score game feels like it's almost insurmountable. That was the case.
As they pitch the shutout tonight here at home with a 20-0 win. They're going to enjoy this one. They got the trophy. There's Ridgeway with the trophy right up front in his right hand. They enjoy it with the rest of their fans, the rest of their community. Next week, we're off to Clearfield. Huntington at Clearfield. Should be a great matchup on Friday Night Rivals. You can watch that on the Allegheny CW6. Our look ahead is sponsored by the Thomas Feed Mill. Allegheny's CW6 can be found on 6.4, Breezeline Channel 714, and Comcast Channel 1007. Tonight's broadcast was sponsored by the Good Feet Store and Levin Furniture. Promotional consideration also provided by UPMC, UMH Properties, Ziegler Chevrolet, Bud's Auto Sales, American Legion County Fair, Berger & Green Attorneys at Law, Priority First Federal Credit Union, Usco Federal Credit Union, West Central Equipment, Wendy's, Crawford Gift Shop, Thomas Feed Mill, and Keystone Engraving. Friday Night Rivals is a production of Sports Fever Television Network for Sinclair Broadcasting Group. For more information, go to sportsfevertv.net. Everyone was out tonight here in Bellwood. Nothing devilish about this performance. They were dominant here tonight. A 20-0 win with all that work from McCartney and friends on the ground. For all my friends on our Friday Night Rivals team, Brian Tripp, for Rick Call, Jeff Page, and our entire crew saying so long from Bellwood. The Blue Devils are back to 500, 2-2. They look like a team poised to make a run with all that physicality and all those weapons paced by number 34. Our player of the game tonight in what was a dominant win, Chase Plummer running us out here as Bellwood-Antis wins it 20-0 here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals.